I took her to the mountains to propose, then her friends answered her phone and ended it cold. Elise and I had been together 3 years, living together for the last year and a half. From day one, I told her I wouldn't propose until I had a job that could support a real future, and she agreed. 2 months ago, I finally got one, $92K with benefits, and she started talking weddings like it was finally our turn. She'd leave ring photos open on her laptop, point at couples getting engaged at restaurants, and tease me with, "So when are you doing it?" I was already planning it, I just didn't want her to know. I reached out to her childhood best friend Leah and asked to meet in secret. Leah loved the idea and pulled in David too, Elise's other best friend since kindergarten. We decided on a cabin in the mountains with pine trees because Elise always talked about wanting that kind of weekend. I bought the ring she'd been eyeing, $4,200, and paid $650 for the cabin. I asked my friend Mike to drive up early Saturday to set up flowers and a couple small cameras. Friday, I took the day off and met Leah, David, and Mike to go over the plan one last time. Leah said she'd invite Elise to a fancy brunch at 10:30, stress the dress code, and then they'd surprise her by taking her to the cabin. That night, I brought home Elise's favorite Thai food and acted normal, even though my stomach was doing flips. She kissed me goodnight, and I barely slept. Saturday morning, Leah and David picked Elise up right on time. Elise waved at me from the car like she had zero worries in the world. As soon as they drove off, Mike called from the cabin and said everything looked perfect. I asked David to share his location so I could arrive 10 minutes before them, but he never sent it. I told myself it didn't matter and headed out anyway with my suit and the ring in my jacket pocket. We got to the cabin at 11:20. I rushed inside, changed, checked the cameras, fixed my hair, and stood in the spot we picked out. The drive from our apartment is only 30 to 40 minutes, so in my head they'd be there around noon. Noon came and went, then 12:15, then 12:30. At first I thought they were stalling on purpose, like giving me extra time. At 12:45, I had my friend call David. No answer. He called again. Nothing. Then he called Leah and it went straight to voicemail. I called both of them myself and my hands started shaking. Still nothing. At 1, I called Elise. She didn't pick up. I called again right away, and Leah answered from Elise's phone. Her voice was sharp like she'd been waiting for this. She said, "Never call Elise again." She said I was dead to Elise, that I was a horrible person, and that Elise never wanted to see me. I kept saying, "What happened? Is she okay? Where are you?" Leah kept saying I was disgusting, and that I knew exactly what I did. Then she hung up. I stood there in my suit in front of the flowers, staring at the door like my brain stopped working. 10 minutes later, Leah texted me, "We're coming for her stuff tonight. She said Elise won't step into the apartment if I'm there, and if I contact her again, they'll report me for harassment." I drove back home with the ring still in my pocket and a lump in my throat the whole way. At the apartment, I tried calling Elise again, and it went straight to voicemail. I texted her, and it didn't go through. I called her parents because they knew about the proposal, and we were supposed to have lunch after. They answered cheerful, then went dead quiet on the phone when I told them Elise disappeared. They said they'd call her and find out what was going on. A few minutes later, they called back and said Elise picked up, said she couldn't talk, and hung up on them too. My friends wouldn't let me sit alone, so we stayed in the living room with the lights on, replaying every recent conversation. Did I say something wrong? Did someone tell her a lie? Was she in trouble? Nothing lined up. At 7, there was a hard knock. Leah and David were at my door with empty bags and faces like stone. I said, "Please just tell me what you think I did." David looked past me and asked where Elise's clothes were. Leah said Elise won't come inside, and if I try to contact her again, they'll get me reported. My friend Mike stepped up and said, "You can't do this without explaining anything." Leah didn't blink. She said, "You're not getting an explanation." They walked through my apartment like I wasn't even there at all, pulling clothes from drawers, grabbing shoes, stuffing hangers into bags. I followed a few steps behind, begging for one clear reason, and they ignored me. When I asked if Elise thought I'd been unfaithful, Leah snapped, "Stop acting innocent." David zipped a suitcase and carried it out without looking at my face once. Leah grabbed the last few things from the bathroom, turned and said, "Do not call her. Do not text her." Then they left. The door shut, and I was standing in my suit with half her stuff gone and a ring still stuck in my pocket. Now they're saying I deserved this for planning the proposal. Was I wrong?